This is the story of two men locked in a dangerous duel to become the fastest man on Earth. This is a contest between man and nature. This is the challenge to be the first to break the sound barrier on land. For the last 80 years, the land speed record has been a contest between America and Britain. This man has broken the record 5 times. In 1963, he was the first to break through the 400 miles per hour barrier. In 1964, he was the first through 500. And in 1965, he smashed through 600. Now, over 30 years later, Craig Breedlove is back. This time, he wants to push the limit to over 700.
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it, so I just figured I wasn't doing too much, so, kind of...
But now, Noble is building a new car. He's determined to keep the record for Britain and to beat Breedlove through the sound barrier. When an aircraft breaks the sound barrier, the shock waves spread out harmlessly through the air. But for a car on the ground, it's a journey into the unknown. These shock waves could bounce back and smash the car. Noble hopes that sheer brute force will overcome the problem. His car, Thrust SSC, is 5 tons heavier and over 3 feet wider than Spirit of America. It has 2 Rolls-Royce jet engines, capable of pumping out a total of 106,000 horsepower. It's the most powerful land speed car ever built. Unlike his arch-rival Breedlove, Richard Noble has decided not to take the driving seat.
I really was faced with a decision either to drive the car or to...
Until he gets permission to move, he has to contend with Bonneville. It's late afternoon before the car is ready. The light is fading, but Breedlove is determined to go ahead with the run. Breedlove creeps carefully along the course to get a feel for how the new car handles. He reaches 80 miles per hour, and the car performs well. But in the failing light at the end of the run, he drives onto rough salt. Meanwhile, in England, just 10 hours later, the Thrust team wheels out their new car onto an airstrip for its first run. This is the culmination of more than 2 years of research and 75,000 man-hours. The project is sponsored by over 200 different companies. Andy Green is full of confidence.
The actual concept of getting into an incredibly powerful vehicle is an ordinary daily occurrence for me. So the fact it's the world's most powerful car, I can turn it around and say, it's as powerful as an aeroplane I've been flying for the last 10 years. It's not actually a big deal. In a way, the fact it's half as heavy and therefore will be twice as fast, half as heavy is a good thing. That means it's twice as easy to control. The whole concept is we're building a safe car and then we're going to make it go faster. And part of that is to take it as a prototype car, exactly like we would a prototype aircraft, and develop its envelope gradually. take it out very slowly the first time, build the speed up very gradually. We have 147 sensors on board. The computers will be checking all of those so that we actually know everything that's happening about the car all the time. So it's by no means a dirty dash for the land speed record. It's going to be inching it up very gradually. As a natural consequence of that, we will go supersonic.
Because of the short runway, green is limited to only 200 miles per hour, but the car has performed well.
The engines both come up perfectly together. Everything in the cockpit is now fitted and working perfectly, so it's absolutely ideal. The rear wheel steering, which was a huge question about, well, what's it going to be like steering from the rear? No problem at all. It's been really, really good. So it's been great. Exactly as we wanted, exactly as we expected. The car's been very well behaved.
Next stop for the thrust team is a desert in Jordan, where there will be plenty of space for high-speed runs.
Can't wait to get out there and start working the car up towards the land speed record and ultimately towards the speed of sound.
Breedlove reaches a peak of 360 miles per hour. But as he releases the parachute, the car skids violently. Breedlove struggles to keep the car under control. It is only his experience that prevents disaster.
This circumstance, which is very unique, gives you probably the ultimate sensation of speed that you'll ever have.
As Breedlove reaches a top speed of 448 miles per hour, he begins to get a feel of the true power of the car. It takes him less than 90 seconds to cover 10 miles. Four days later, Breedlove runs the car again. To break the land speed record, he must achieve an official two-way average of 639 miles per hour. First, he wants to test his parachutes, so he restricts his speed to under 600 miles per hour. But there are still problems. The thrust team are on their way to Jordan. Even to get there is a challenge. To relocate the 75 tons of equipment and 25 people, they borrowed the Antonov 124, the world's largest commercial airplane. The flight to Jordan will consume over 34,000 gallons of fuel, donated by sponsors. For the British, the land speed challenge is now a reality. At last, Breedlove has a competitor, even though they will race on opposite sides of the world. chosen to make the headlines here was Lawrence of Arabia. The thrust team has chosen this new location for its size and supposedly perfect climate. The plan is to accelerate to 350 miles per hour, but without the afterburner. If the car runs well and Green is happy, they will slowly build up the speed over the next few runs.
To run. North team acknowledge.
2 hours later, and Andy Green gets the clearance to climb into the cockpit. Thrust is finally ready to blast down the course. In just seconds, thrust reaches a speed of 331 miles per hour. There's a problem with the rear wheel steering. The wheels are vibrating badly, causing Green serious problems. The fastest race is still to be won. As soon as their cars are back in shape, the Spirit of America and Thrust teams will return to chase the elusive record and to break the sound barrier.
That's never ever been done before. That, that's a real major achievement. That is the Everest or the walking on the moon of land speed record breaking. Trying to make it not only the fastest car on Earth, but the ultimate land speed record car.
It is one of the most exciting things you can do on God's Earth. And once you've done it once, then of course you always want to continue.
I really enjoy doing it. It's nice to do something well, so I get a lot of satisfaction from that. I know how to do this game, and I know how to win at it.